exposing how emotionally abusive narcissists will tremble in fear if you do these to them. As self-centered individuals, narcissists have no interest in anything or anybody but themselves. There is a constant need for them to be the best. They have a vantage point from which to view the world. If you don't recognize their excellence, they will make you. They will make sure of it. You can never praise someone else in front of or to the narcissist because that would put that person above them. They will probably get very angry and say that you should have complimented them instead of the other person. You'll feel bad about what you said, and they'll make you retract what you said. The following is a list of things that you can do in order to drive narcissists crazy. A word of caution though. Those of you who are confident that you will not be harmed should see what follows. If you're dealing with a narcissist who's a pain in the neck and a poisonous person, then this advice is for you. Make sure that you have a strong sense of security and self-assurance before confronting the narcissist. These methods work best for any narcissists who are manipulative but unlikely to descend to violence because of their toxicity. For the narcissists who are on the higher end of the spectrum and consequently more dangerous and violent, I advise you not to use these methods. In fact, you shouldn't approach them at all. Please stay cautious. If you or anyone else you come into contact with are at risk of being harmed by a violent individual. Now that we're on the same page, let's get started. So, here are things that you can do to make narcissists lose their mind. Radical honesty comes first on the list. The truth is one of the few things that can truly drive a destructive narcissist insane. It's the cold, hard realities, no sugar-coating words. To put it another way, honesty to a fault. Trust me, I grew up in a world where people of this kind were commonplace. Some of them I've dated in the past, and some of them I've even worked with. When I think back, my penchant for speaking my mind and calling things like they are was the thing that irritated them the most. When it comes to a narcissist, nobody else was allowed to stand up or speak out. It was fine for them, but not for you. Then there's this interesting tidbit. 1,000 times more powerful than any falsehood ever will be is the truth, which has a vibrating frequency. To put it another way, the truth always wins. When it comes down to it, you can bank on it to happen. And the destructive narcissists find those of us who are open and honest in our work incredibly disruptive and distressing. Even when we don't speak, they can't quite put their finger on it, but something about us makes them extremely uncomfortable. A new level of clarity has been reached in our profession because of this. They are sensitive to that frequency, and they can't stay calm thinking about it. After all, it has the potential to bring to light all of their deceptions. So don't be afraid to be really open and honest with yourself. This level of honesty is foreign to narcissists since they are so used to lying and deceiving others. Narcissists have an extremely weak sense of self, so they have to manipulate others to make them feel better. They will most likely go away as soon as you stop speaking of what they want to hear and start speaking of the cold, hard truth, things that no one else has the guts or courage to say in their face all this time. Especially after they've backed themselves into a corner, there's really no place for them to stay any longer. If you still can't imagine how powerful the truth can be, then I will say this: the truth is always good enough. You should keep this in your mind forever. Secondly, show them no regard. A good dosage of indifference to a destructive narcissist will drive them insane. Narcissists believe they have the right to treat others with contempt and disgust, even though they have done nothing to merit it. When the cards are reversed, however, the situation is frequently thrown into disarray for them. They don't know what to make of it. The rule for thee, but not for me. This is a typical example of the double standard. This person is able to treat people like they're absolute twos. But when they realize that you're absolutely and utterly indifferent to their presence, or whatever it is they think they have to offer, it drives them insane. Here's where I'm going to go next. Rejection is the next step that will definitely make them sink to the bottom of the ocean. Third, exposure. Exposure is terrible for any narcissist. And the best part is that it's not difficult at all to do that. It's as simple as exposing them in front of others. You may readily expose their poisonous chatter. For example, use a simple expression such as, "It's not my business," or "It sounds like a personal issue. You might want to keep it to yourself." No more words after that. You've called out their sleazy behavior by doing that. There's nothing else to say at this point in time. You might also call them out when they're being passive hostile or expose their obvious incompetence or exaggeration. For instance, "Was that a sneer you gave me? Interesting. I'm glad to hear that." And no more words after that. Keep your cool, no matter what they say or do to you. Alternatively, keep a low profile while the narcissist continues to unveil themselves as what they truly are. It's also possible to ask them a direct question in front of others that they can't genuinely answer without risking exposure and embarrassment for them. Last but not least, let them know you're keeping an eye on them. If you want them to be restless, don't tell them anything. Just show them. How you look and how you feel are the most important things. As long as you do it right, it shows that you can see right through them. This will send shivers up their spines. When they realize that you can see through them and know what's really going on behind their fake front, when they realize that you know how weak, incompetent, and inferior they really are, it will hit them hard. And that by itself is enough to drive a narcissist crazy. Narcissists hate it when they can't control something, and they hate it even more when someone knows their card. That's all I have for today. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you find this video informative. Please share your experience if you've ever been in a relationship with a narcissist in the comments section below. For future videos, consider subscribing to our channel and clicking the bell icon below the video. Thank you.